about Jennifer and this whole situation going on with them. So we got more tea that's been spilling. Now, there was a story that came out, I think it was yesterday, that Jennifer did have a chat with Ben about how they're going to go about the whole divorce situation before she filed, which does make sense. And it probably makes sense also why the timing, because on his birthday, she went over to visit him. And then there was another time, I believe, that she went to the house and visited him and that sort of thing. And then I think that's when she was getting all her ducks in a row with everything and letting him know. So it wasn't like a bomb that she just dropped on him like, okay, well, since you don't want to, your ass don't want to cooperate, I guess we getting a divorce and things of that nature. So then also, there's been a lot coming out since, she dropped the news that she was getting a divorce or filing for divorce, that the viewership for The Greatest Love Story Never Told, her documentary, surged significantly. I think they said 3,000, I think it was 3,000 views or 3,000%. I have to look up the actual number. I think I have the number. Hold on, let me scroll and see if I have that. I don't know. It's probably one of my other articles that I didn't pull up because there was so many damn Jennifer articles that I'm like, I don't know if I want to open up all these damn windows. So yeah, it was a lot. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Just know the fact that, since she filed, the numbers have skyrocketed in viewership over on Prime Video, which goes to show that y'all are messy as hell, because it took this situation for y'all to it took her to file for divorce for y'all to go over there and pay attention to her stuff. Is this mean that the numbers are going to actually go up on that album? Like, y'all really going to listen to the record and want to know, like, okay, what went wrong? Or am I asking to? It's like, oh no, nah, don't push it. We ain't going to actually listen to the music. We're going to watch the documentary and try to look for the clues. But if you actually think we're going to sit through that whole damn This Is Me Now album and listen to them struggle vocals, and, in regards to her professing her love for Ben, I was like, sir, we're not doing all of that. So basically, okay, so now what they're saying is the whole documentary was his idea. It wasn't Jennifer's idea. Because, we was all out here thinking, okay, now she's doing the most. Ben is somebody who private. Ben doesn't like his business being all out here in the streets. And here go Jennifer just protesting her love because she loves love and she believes in fairy tales. She wants that fairy tale ending, happily ever after, because she thinks she's Snow White, she's Sleeping Beauty, she every other, female stereotype that was delivered by old Walt Disney back in the day. So now she want to live it up. She everybody but Tiana from Princess and the Frog. Because, she black. So I said that. Ooh, I'm cold and I know it. But anyway, let me focus. So basically, they're trying to say it's his idea. So now multiple insiders have told people that Affleck, who's 52, was heavily involved in the creative process for the Prime Video documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told, which was released in February alongside Lopez's project, This Is Me Now, a love story and music album. Saying he was the one who had control, pretty much, a source says to Affleck. It says of Affleck. They said Affleck was very much in favor of the project, and he was a driving force for Lopez to do the movie and the album, and then he insisted on the documentary, where it looks like he was hesitant and almost surprised by it, the source adds, but that was a false narrative. The documentary was Ben's idea for his company, Artists Equity. Jennifer's team didn't want to do it since she was focused on the album and Amazon original video project. He said the first source also reveals that although reports have circulated that Affleck felt uncomfortable with the revealing look at their marriage and how much attention the documentary brought to his relationship with Lopez, 55, the Air actor was highly involved with the editing of the film, saying he was very supportive of Lopez making the movie and her album. He knew every step of the way what she was doing. Adds the source, he loved the movie and album, but when you look at the doc, it looks like he's surprised by it and not signing up for it. He was playing the role of playing the regular guy, and meanwhile, he was the engine in back of it. And you know what? If that is true, then Ben, you ain't shit. Because first of all, how you gonna leave Jennifer out there? And I'm not saying she's innocent, but you know what? We got to give everybody the benefit of the doubt when it comes to situations. How you gonna leave her out there behind dry in a situation, making it like, oh, she was doing the most, and you looking, I don't know if I want to go along with this whole thing of us putting our whole business out there. I just thought you were gonna do the album in the movie musical, whatever. I didn't know you were gonna have the camera all up in my face. I mean, there was even shots of the damn thing where he was holding the fucking camera. And unless she had you at gunpoint, you could have at least said no. I mean, first of all, ain't nobody pussy that damn hypnotizing, male or female. Or maybe I'm just too strong of a person that it's just like, I don't get so caught up in cloud nine when I'm in love with somebody that I can't have a mind of my own and just be like, you know what, I'm not really comfortable doing this. Like, I'm not gonna be no doormat. And to me, Ben seemed like he tried to play with the regular Joe Schmo doormat, where you're gonna leave her out here high and dry. Like, if you're doing that, then Ben, you a bitch for that. And to me, I just don't think it's right that that's what you're doing for her. Now, I know I pulled up the cheerings, and there's a reason why I pulled up the cheerings, because there's another report that came out from people where they said that while Hennifer has maintained a close relationship with Ben's 3 kids, the actor has not kept in contact with her 16-year-old twins, Max and Emmy. The Henny from the Block singer is still close to Garner and all 5 kids, the source says. The Gone Girl actor, meanwhile, is close to his 3 children, but has not been in touch with her kids. The fact that he has not seen her kids in a long time, it's like he left, but she is especially close to his kids. This is what the source continues, citing Lopez's attendance at Samuel's graduation ceremony in June and Violet spending a week with the singer during her Hamptons vacation in July. But she's also close to Mark's kids from his previous relationship. The source adds, of the 4 children, the Vivir Mi Vida singer, 55, welcomed prior to his relationship with Lopez. Well, wasn't there stories that while he was with Dayanara Torres, that he was also laying low and spreading it wild with Hennifer? I remember that story. But look, they managed to make the whole situation, the blended situation, work. Whatever, how y'all do is how y'all do, but y'all all messy over here, quiet as it's kept. And that is that, as a source, she keeps in touch with the children, and she's a good mom. So it just goes to show, like, in my opinion, with all of this coming out, it just feels like to me that Hennifer's team is doing damage control. First, they're saying that her team didn't want to do the documentary. If that is true, I need evidence. Like, y'all had evidence for every damn thing else. Y'all put all that footage up in there, that embarrassing ass scene where Hennifer is trying to get her team to call these celebrities to appear in her movie musical, and they all was like, they busy. No, they knew they wasn't trying to be up in that bullshit ass project, because they knew the hot mess that it is. So then, I ain't gonna be a part of this mess. But you know what? Jane Fonda's a better woman than me, because even though she knew the shit was a mess, she appeared in it as one of the astrology signs. We're about to get into that topic in a second. But and then I also was hearing excuse me, that Hennifer encouraged Ben to be more outgoing with his children, to kind of hang out with them and go out more and all stuff. Because I did see a video recently, or no, not a video, photos of him out recently going with his kids for ice cream. And then there's some tea that's coming out that he already moved on to another woman, because they said that he's hanging out with Robert F. Kennedy's daughter, Kick. Her name is Kathleen, but they call her Kick. So I'm like, of all the women in the world, first of all, you ain't waste no damn time. So y'all be out here trying to read Hennifer for doing relationship hopscotch. He ain't no damn different. So if we're going to call her out, we need to call out both sides and be like, Ben, your little dirty Boston dick, you ain't no damn different. You nasty too. Because you out here playing relationship hopscotch with all these other women. The ink ain't even dry. I don't even think he signed the papers yet. She just filed the papers. We don't even know if the papers was drawn up. We don't even know if you got it in the mail yet. Where they just waiting for your signature and for you to put it in the envelope and send it to the courthouse or however else y'all do. I ain't never been married. No, I'm planning on getting married. So I don't know how divorce works, because I'm not from a child of divorce. I know people who've been divorced. So I don't know the proper protocol. But you ain't even signed the goddamn papers already. You on to the next coochie. And that's what a girl that looked like Jennifer Garner. I don't know if y'all seen the pictures, but they out there. I don't have it on me at the moment, but the pictures exist. So now he done allegedly moved on to another woman, while Hennifer out here mending her broken heart for a second damn time. She'll move on. Look, like I said before, and I made a mistake the last time because I said Jennifer Lopez's name twice, but what I meant was what she needed to do is get in a relationship like Cher or Madonna and basically get you a young man who can clean your pipes every now and again. And I'm talking about the coochie. That's the pipes. Clean between me down there. Keep it nice and moist. Keep it rejuvenated. Keep it nice and right and tight. Blow your back out a couple of times, a year. Not a couple of times. Because that seems like it's like low maintenance. With me, my high sex drive, I'll be like, you're going to clean these pipes out every day, sir. So you need to get you one of those. Not a Casper Smart, because allegedly Casper Smart was out here trying to hunch trans girls, and I don't think Hannaford trying to compete with the T girls, but just get you a young man that's going to tell you about your eyes. You need to get you a Travis Kelce type. I think Robert and I had this conversation the other day. She got to find her a Travis Kelce. I ain't meaning you need to go after Taylor, man, because Taylor going to beat your ass. I mean, she may not physically fight you, but she'll destroy you financially. And, because, Taylor got that power. So don't go and try to snatch her man, because that ain't going to happen. You need to get you a Travis Kelce type, somebody who has their own thing going, but also understands the assignment in regards of how the entertainment industry works and has no problem playing second to you. That you get to go and be the biggest artist in the world, and I love you, but I got to do my thing too. In regards to my career. And Travis Kelce's career is thriving because he understands his role and his position. He's not trying to play that whole, oh yeah, I'm a man, I gotta prove I'm a man, and like he ain't trying to do all of that. And that's why their relationship works. Taylor is going to do her thing. Travis is doing his thing. This is why he's getting on the acting roles. He's still, and they worrying about football taking a backseat. I'm like, first of all, football is not something that's going to last forever. So it's smart for him to actually jump in and do some acting, work on the podcast with his brother, and do all these other side gigs instead of, okay, now I'm going to start playing again. And next, I broke my damn leg in 3 places and I can't ever play football again. So it's smart that he's solidifying himself in other ways. So when that football shit is done, he could slide up into a whole new career, which is the podcasting and the acting. Now, and I do think it's kind of messed up because now, Hannaford, you got this relationship where it's like you get in these relationships, and of course, your kids are always going to be involved because you got to introduce them to whatever relationship you're going to be in. But for him to be kind of cold and distant and not really be as engaged with your children as you are with his kids and then Mark's kids, or whatever the case is, well, I guess they're forever attached because Mark Anthony is their dad, so they're always going to have those relationships with their step siblings or whatever. But the fact of that he's not as engaged with your children, I'm thinking that might have also played in the downfall of the relationship too, because it's like, if y'all going to blend the families, the husband got to accept your kids and vice versa. And it seems like she's very family oriented, and she's, worked her thing over there with that. And it is what it is. But let's get into this other thing, so we could wrap this up and talk about Jane Fonda, who was out here talking about how she warned Hannaford about the whole situation with the pre-divorce in regards of, that whole situation in the documentary. So while it's being reported that Hannaford's The Greatest Love Story Never Told has seen a huge spike in viewership on Prime Video 24 hours after she announced she was divorcing Ben, after the whole 2 years marriage situation, a clip of the doc revealing Jane Fonda raising concerns about their rekindling have been circulating online. So after the 55-year-old filed a divorce, Ben Affleck, after 2 years of marriage on Tuesday, a conversation between Lopez and Jane Fonda have resurfaced. In the Prime Video documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told, there's also a reason why it's never been told. Prime example. Fonda told Lopez, I want you to know that I don't entirely know why, but I feel invested in you and Ben, and I really, really want this to work. Once upon a time, Fonda played a role in Lopez's disapproving mother-in-law because, they did the movie Monster Law, which I will say this. I don't like a lot of rom-coms, but back in the 2000s, y'all was releasing some funny-ass rom-coms. Monster-in-Law was one of them. I also have a soft spot for Made in Manhattan, so I'm not going to entirely throw shade at Hannaford and her whole rom-com situation. But there were some movies, and first of all, it's because Tyler Posey's in it. I mean, he was a kid then, but now I look at him as like, okay. He's an adult now, so I can look at him. But back in the day, you were a little too little in that movie. But, and I ain't trying to get in jail for no PDF stuff. But now that he's an adult, I can look. It's like with Zac Efron. But anyway, oh wait. Well, Zac Efron and I aren't that far off in age. But anyway, let's focus. So, I guess maybe what it was is that Jane Fonda, because they did Monster in Law together, she kind of sees herself as sort of a maternal mother to Hannaford in some sort of ways, like another mother. And sometimes we have those, like I have other people that look at me as like their kid or whatever. So I understand where she's coming from. And she said, however, this is my concern. Like it feels too much like you're trying to prove something instead of just living it. Every other photograph is the two of you kissing and the two of you hugging. Lopez laughed off her longtime friend, reassuring the 86-year-old, it's just us living our life. But the on-the-floor singer still understood where Fonda was coming from, saying she's very protective of me. This is what Lopez shared. And she felt like you're putting yourself out there to get beat up again. And now when you look back on it, and I think that's why a lot of people went and revisited the documentary, they were like, she's right in this situation, in this regard. So they said so protective that ahead of filming her scenes at Sagittarius, and This Is Me Now, Fonda had a stern discussion with Lopez about Affleck's behavior, including paparazzi pictures that showed the 52-year-old appearing sad alongside his wife at the 2023 Grammy Awards. And didn't we have this conversation the other day where I was like, that's when people started looking at it when they were in this intense conversation at the Grammys. They came back from commercial. I don't even think Ben and Jen realized that the camera panned on him, but because their relationship was fresh and everything, you know how the Grammy people do. If Taylor Swift is in the building, they're gonna have the camera on her all damn night because ratings. If Hannaford shows up, they're gonna have the camera on her. If Beyonce and Jay-Z's in the building, of course they're gonna focus on the top 3 pop stars in the world. They're gonna pander the cameras to them all night. So you got to be on your P's and Q's when you can't give away stuff. But Ben, it's hard for him to do that. So it looked like there was an intense conversation. When the cameras came back, it's kind of like she gave the signal, oh yeah, we back. Like we got to stop, whatever. Ben was probably just like, I don't give a fuck. Like he just doing whatever and just didn't care. So people started to clock it, including myself at that point. And then, Lopez shook off the concern and said nothing. He was like, it's like I've become the symbol of the beleaguered man. So Fonda also spoke with the longtime manager of the J.Lo Beauty founder, Benny Medina. Say, I believe that everyone in the entire world is pulling for the relationship in this love. And the idea of how you present that is so, sacrosanct. Say it is important that it should be handled in a way that you aren't overly flaunting it. So much so that it creates any form of criticism or resentment. My biggest concern is that when critics or people start to come at her in any way. But Fonda, wasn't the only one that had a situation. It was also, that's with them from Monster in Law and that sort of thing. Because I was like, yeah, when it comes to relationship and stuff, you got to keep that thing sacred. It's like, that's the one thing you got to keep about yourself. That's one of the things I will say I love about Beyonce. Like, we don't know nothing about her and Jay-Z unless she decided to put it in a song, with the alleged cheating allegations. But that's probably what she should have did as well. So, Joy Behar was another one. I was trying to find that damn picture. I knew it was in there somewhere. So Joy Behar, basically spoke about it as well. And this was back in May when she referred to Lopez's recent appearance on their show, saying, not that we want to gossip about people, we don't, because we're talking about a friend of the show. But that didn't stop the 81-year-old. When you go around shouting your love from the rooftops, it gets tricky when things don't go well. My advice is keep your mouth shut. I don't even tell my second husband, Steve, I love him in public. I don't say it in private either, but still telling everybody how much you love each other and writing it on Instagram and Facebook, and then you get a divorce and everybody says, oh, you see? And once news of Lopez and Affleck's divorce hit, now, these are the last two that should be talking about anybody goddamn relationship, but let's get into it. Amy Robach and TJ Holmes recalled the conversation they had with the former Good Morning America co-anchor, saying on Wednesday's episode of the Amy and is anybody still listening to that? Anyway, let's move on. They shared that they were on air alongside anchor George Stephanopoulos for Lopez and Affleck's wedding day. And it turns out he saw the split coming. They said, you came in and you were like, this is such a great story. 17 years in the making, Robach said to Holmes, knowing that they both thought that Lopez and Affleck's relationship was a fairy tale at the time. Well, I guess maybe because y'all was in cloud nine, because y'all was out here laying low and spreading it wide with each other while y'all was in relationships with other damn people. saying, we were excited, like genuinely happy for the two of them, she continued. George Stephanopoulos, however, rolled his eyes and said, I give it 6 months or something to that effect. I mean, it was probably the correct way to look at it. Well, look, it probably was less than 6 months, because remember, they said that the whole splitation happened like on the night of their honeymoon in Italy. But then again, how y'all out here spilling George Stephanopoulos tea? They out here, oh, I guess because y'all fired from Good Morning America, y'all want to be out here snitching on people. They said Holmes disagreed with Stephanopoulos' opinion. Saying, we talk about everybody loves a love story, but then we have a very difficult time being happy for people who are in love, he shared. That turns us off to see somebody else so happy. And then we get so invested and almost there's glee in someone else's demise and that pain. This is what Holmes told listeners. Somebody who said, I'll give it 6 months might be saying now, I told you. We can't sit back and say, ha ha, I hate that mindset. No, first of all, now you're making it seem like George is a damn hater. And I don't agree with that. Like, y'all sitting here, because quiet as it's kept, we could say the same thing about y'all and the fact that y'all are messy asses and how y'all got in a relationship with each other. Y'all should be the last ones to talk about love and fairy tales and shit when y'all a bunch of damn philandering fools. And yeah, I'm a little cold-hearted in talking about, because I don't like them too, basic asses. But for the most part, it's like, no, George Stephanopoulos is somebody who's been in a relationship with his wife for a long period of time. Damn, I forgot her damn name, but she's a comedian. You know, she also is a personality. But for him to say that, it's like, no, I've been around the world and I understand, and I'm a lot older, so I know these things. Same thing with Joy Behar and Jane Fonda. They're women in their 80s. They've lived many a lifetime on this earth. They've been around the world, and I'm not saying they hoes or anything, but they know what it's like about relationships and knowing what you need to put out there versus not being put out there. And yeah, you could talk about how you finally found your Prince Charming and stuff. That's great and all, if somebody asked you for an interview, but to make a whole album about it, to make a whole documentary about it, to make a whole movie musical about it, and to just shout it every damn way, it's not like you living your life. You're exploiting it. There's a difference between living your life, and there's nothing wrong with being in love with who you're in love with. It's like we see, let me use them as an example again. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, they're out here living their life and doing what they're doing in the public eye. They're not exploiting their relationship. It's everybody else exploiting it. The media, the NFL trying to take advantage and exploit it for their own financial gain. We got the music industry trying to exploit it for their own financial gain. And to me, it just seems like we see Taylor and Travis are not out here shouting their love from the rooftops and making a whole exploitation little project about it. Even though, yes, it is true that Taylor does use her relationship stuff as fodder for her music. But we haven't seen her do that with Travis yet. If she has, let me know in the comments. But she's not out here doing it in a cringy way, the way that Jennifer is. So I say all this because I know this is a long one. I wasn't planning on it being a long one, but it was like me trying to bring all this stuff in here to just tie it all up. I just feel like at the end of the day, you know, people tried to tell her in the situation, she didn't want to hear it. They were trying to tell her, keep it close to yourself. Don't be out here exploiting your business and all this other stuff. But Jennifer has the habit of not listening to the warning signs. You know, she was advised not to make the movie musical and the documentary as well as that horrible ass album. But she's stubborn as a mule. She's a Leo, that's why. And she wasn't going to listen to the people about her career decisions. Why would you think she would listen when it comes to her relationships? So, you know, when you there are aspects of your life that you keep to your, you know, is in the public eye. There has to be that one thing that you have to keep sacred. And then you have to agree to it on both terms. And to me, it was like, yeah, Ben is an introvert, Hannibal is an extrovert. That can work in a relationship, but it could be tricky in how you try to make that work. But exploiting a relationship, you know, for financial gain and exploiting it, you know, or I should say disguising it as some sort of Disney-fied fairy tale, in my opinion, is a recipe for disaster. And it's no shade, but I may have said this many times, but Ray Charles saw the demise of this relationship coming a mile away, and he both blind and dead. So the moral of this story, I will say, is, as I said earlier, listen to your elders because they know. And for those people who are truly concerned about you, we'll give you the wisdom. But at the end of the day, you got to be the one that listens to said wisdom and want to take that into heart. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Do y'all believe that Ben had actual control over the documentary. He came up with the ideas. He was the one that was giving a lot of creative input, but then tried to play this whole, oh, well, I'm an introvert and I don't like my business being out here and you leaving Hennifer out all high and dry. Or do you think it's her team trying to play damage control because Hennifer, quiet as is kept, is not well liked? And, from the TikToks and everything that everybody was posting, she's not really, she has a hard time, I guess, resonating with regular fandom and those, even though she talked about I'm real and all this other stuff, it just seemed like she's had a hard time resonating with the fans, that sort of thing. And it just feels like they're trying to dump all this on Ben, and Ben's not gonna come out and say anything because Ben is not somebody who likes public speaking. He doesn't like promoting things. They have this movie that they have coming out. I think it's called Unstoppable that she's starring in. It's produced by Ben and his best friend, Matt Damon. And people talking about, well, are they going to make an appearance? First of all, as producers, they don't need to be there. Let Hennifer hit the red carpet. Let her do the whatever. But I feel bad for her in a way because I feel like with her talking about, with her having to show up, it's like, okay, so now are you going to tell media that we can't bring up the whole divorce situation and we can't address the elephant in the room because she's an A-list star, so we can't talk about this whole situation? And then Ben is not going to have the show because he's going to leave her high to dry per usual, is what a lot of these men do. Y'all hang everything on the women, but the men get to get away with everything. So whatever your thoughts are on this whole situation, even down to the whole thing about him not spending a lot of time with Hennifer's children, but she spent a lot of time with his kids and Mark's kids and all the other stuff. So let me know whatever your thoughts on all of this story regarding Hennifer. Let me know in the comments down below.